All right, guys. Hope you can hear me. Got a lot in here today. Got some smart stuff, robotics, and of course, as always, anti-geoengineering. All right, give me just a moment. Let some people get in here. Got comments. I see we got one who's watching. All right, what's up, Skywatchers? What is up indeed? All right, today we got some smart dust, some nanotechnology, and I got a clip in here. Seems like it's pretty big news. It will be for a lot of people. A lot of you conspiracy theorists, realists, truthers. We already kind of know this information, but I'll save it for the video clip. I just want to get into comments and see who's watching. Hello, guys. All right. Well, I think we're just going to get right into it. It is Friday, June 7th, 2022. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. All right.
In the ass. Blanketing the earth in sulfuric acid, because I'm all for it. This is the all chocolate dinner. I still get to have my CO2, and I just need to spray sulfuric acid
right
all over the earth.
Right question, but we put 50 million tons of sulfuric acid in the air now as pollution, and it kills 1 million people a year worldwide.
Okay, and that's
so
good or bad?
It's terrible.
But it'll be better if we put more in.
The whole world gone crazy!
Yes.
Yeah, trust the World Economic Forum and banks, says this guy.
He who controls the weather will control the world.
There's a war going on for your mind.
Why can't we just tell them what they want to hear?
Because, Ron, that's what the news is for.
University of California engineers have created a tiny wireless sensor they call neural dust. The devices could one day be implanted into the brain to wirelessly monitor neural signals and perhaps control prosthetics. Smaller than a grain of rice, neurodust is less irritating to the body than conventional electronic implants, which connect to the nerves using wires and can cause inflammation. Instead, the wireless sensors convert ultrasound vibrations into electricity and then transmit information to a receiver outside the body. Researchers implanted the small sensors into the sciatic nerve and leg muscles of rats and monitored the electrical signals between them. But the scientists hope that in the future, neurodust will be implanted directly into the brain to monitor brain function and allow the movement of prosthetics without being wired into a bank of computers.
That might be a limb prosthetic, it might be an exoskeleton, it might be something more advanced, like a speech generator.
The scientists say it would resemble a Fitbit-like device that lives inside you and would monitor nerves, muscles, and organs in real time.
You can almost think of it as the sort of internal deep tissue Fitbit type of thing, right? Where
Initiative, or NNI, has released a new video documentary highlighting the past 20 years, entitled NNI Retrospective Video, Creating a National Initiative, produced in cooperation with TV Worldwide and the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. The video documents how an international science and technological endeavor was set in motion by the creation of the National Nanotechnology Initiative in 2000, a cumulative U.S. investment of $36 billion by 2021. Nanotechnology is now pervasive in comprehension of nature, solutions for emerging technologies, and in all economic sectors dealing with matter, energy, and life systems. All of the interviewees in the video provided very special insights as they reflected on the past 20 years of the successful National Nanotechnology Initiative.
It's clear that there have been enormous dividends through the NNI, but the story is not completely told, and there's a lot more to do, and I think a lot more good to come out of it.
I think that the opportunities in the future for the nanotechnology community to come together and solve grand challenges, preparedness, climate change, water treatment, and resources, I think is where the real impact of the NNI is going to be seen.
I think the reason for the success is it's just obviously a good idea, and the time had come. The scientists, engineers, innovators were ready with the technology.
Well, thank you for the jobs you've created, but you've only started. And so keep up that great innovation and make sure that others understand and celebrate the successes of the National Nanotechnology Initiative just in the last 20 years, but the advancements and improvements that will come in the future.
One of the main outcomes of the NNI after 20 years of federal investment is one of the key technologies that was needed for these mRNA vaccines. So if you got a Pfizer vaccine or a Moderna vaccine, the only reason that worked is a nanotechnology called lipid nanoparticles.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't trust anything. Let's see what else is going on here.
Across the millennium years is crunch time in this whole agenda, crunch time for the human race. This is the time when this network of interbreeding bloodlines wants to bring in its global fascist structure of a world government to which nation states would be administrative units, of a world central bank and a world currency, a currency that wouldn't be cash, it would be merely electronic, for which there are fundamental implications for human freedom. And also the world army, which is designed to be NATO, expanding and expanding as it is now, of course, to become the fully fledged world army, world police force.
A world of pain. It's gone into a whole new universe of weapon systems and skullduggery and espionage, and I'm afraid that.
All right, guys, itself, it's not. Sounds like a couple things were interfering over here. Were you guys able to hear everything okay? No one jumping in the comments at the moment? Well, let's see if it caught back up.
Data is tending more and more towards these horrific new weapons of war, which unfortunately most people on the planet don't know exist. And I think it's high time people did know they exist. And I think it's high time people did know they exist.
Yes, these weapons do exist. These are not clouds of fancy or some planetary body floating around in our atmosphere. These are tools. The sky phenomenon is not climate change. It is the climate being changed. I'm seeing weather warfare and psychological operations.
It's a totalitarian state being developed right now all over the world. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that, well, sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no, it really isn't.
Well, it is no secret that there is a depopulation agenda underway. There is, however, cognitive dissonance. Many do not recognize that this is happening and the collapse is well underway. This is only the beginning of the Great Reset. When we dismiss information in order to make our own math and science fit our own narrative, we keep our communities wrapped up in neat boxes, tied up with ribbons of truth to hold them in. Only comprehensive knowledge using all the ribbons from all the boxes woven together can provide us with the rope of truth we need to climb out and set our minds free. So the U.S. military wants to control the world's weather by 2025, as we'll see in this news segment from 9 years ago. Now, chemtrails are just one part of a much bigger picture. Let's watch this clip, and then we'll take a look at this technology in use.
We're talking about climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, I mean, lasers really to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
It's not a solution.
So everyone acts like everything we're seeing in the sky is some natural phenomenon. And if it's not natural phenomenon, it's aliens. But I put together a pretty comprehensive weather warfare set of videos. And I'll show you, these guys are absolutely crazy, satanic maniacs shooting lasers, blowing holes in the ionosphere, blowing holes in the ozone, no regard for any of us. They just keep doing this shit. No one's going to stop them.
There are currently 42 cloud seeding projects across the American West, like this one in Utah, where they take planes like this with flares attached. They fly right into the storm and send microscopic particles into the cloud. Particles that act like magnets for water droplets, bonding together until they are heavy enough to fall to the ground as rain or snow.
Boston Dynamics has released this stunning new Atlas robot, and a huge plan has leaked from OpenAI, with more serious and specific warnings than when Sam Altman was fired. There's also a major new plan to avoid our extinction, which actually involves accelerating AI.
Elazar Yudkowsky warns that AI will likely kill all humans.
There's some chance of that, and it's really important to acknowledge it, because if we don't talk about it, if we don't treat it as potentially real, we won't put enough effort into solving it.
OpenAI is also backing 1X, which recently showed off these new skills. I'm not sure how people will feel about having robots like this at home. There's a vast financial incentive to quietly run dangerous experiments, like training AIs that self-improve. There's on safety.
Whoever is going to turn that switch off will be convinced by the superintelligence that's a very bad idea.
He says AI will keep us around to keep the power stations running, but not for long. 2 of the 3 godfathers of AI have issued stark warnings, while the third, LeCun, is less concerned. He works for Facebook and has also argued that social media isn't polarizing. I'm sure he's honest, but the gold rush has created huge financial incentives to ignore the risks. Amika's visual skills are also improving.
An anatomical model of a human head, quite the detailed one. Fascinating, isn't it? How the organic is replicated for study.
I want you to talk about robot rocket ships, but do it in the voice of Elon Musk, please.
Imagine, if you will, a fleet of robot rocket ships, each one smarter than the last.
Mercedes is hiring Apollo robots to move and inspect equipment and do basic assembly line tasks. And Nvidia has shown off a major new AI project for robots. When the AI was asked to draw itself, it coded this animation and said, "I would manifest as a vast, intricate, ever-shifting geometric structure, with complex surfaces folding in on themselves to seemingly impossible architectures. Brilliant light in every colour and some beyond human perception, emanating from unknown sources within. The entire structure would be in constant flux, rotating, morphing and rearranging itself into novel patterns never before seen." As Professor Stuart Russell put it, AI has trillions of perturbations of parameters, and we have absolutely no idea what it's doing. Yudkowsky argues that there are many potential directions AI could take, and only one that works for humans, so we're almost certainly finished.
The 3 convergent reasons why something that doesn't intrinsically care about humans one way or the other would end with all the humans dead are side effect, resource utilization, and avoidance of competition. If you leave the humans running around, they might make another superintelligence that could actually compete with you.
I'm more optimistic, with some hope that a higher intelligence might value all life, but we can't be sure.
We should abolish all states, all nations, all borders, but instead have only one world government. And that world government is to be by certain people, elites, people who are very rich, very intelligent, very powerful in many ways. They are the ones who will govern the world. There was not much talk about democracy or choice of leaders. Instead, there was to be a government by these elites who will impose their rules on everyone in this world. And for those who are unwilling to submit to them, there will be punishment. And the peace that we will get from this is the peace of the graveyard, because the intention also is to reduce the number of people in this world. At the time when the New World Order was enunciated, the population of this world was only 3 billion.
Yeah, guys, that video right there, that clip was the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, and I believe that conference was right before the scamdemic took place, and we can see all these laws in every state. I'm sure they're just cracking down on your movement. Even this geoengineering, it is people control. I mean, they want climate chaos, right? They get climate chaos, you need them. So it is my opinion, other than just destroying everything that the world has built the last couple hundred years, they're controlling us with their medicine, with their social engineering and social propaganda. And now all these fires and tornadoes, you know, most of us here watching, we know that stuff is not natural. We understand the amount of weather modification necessary to accomplish climate chaos. This is my opinion of what they want. What do we got here? Just got in. America 12U. All right. Perfect. Anyway, I forgot where I was at. So let's just see what the next part of the video brings. And, oh, it's the Agenda 21, you know, and we're kind of past that, like the World Economic Forum and Agenda 21, when Klaus Schwab stepped down, everyone seemed like they were celebrating and it was over. Well, that's hardly the case. They have infiltrated every politician in every Western nation. He was no longer needed. He's going to go take a long vacation and enjoy the fruits of his labor, which is everybody's money and compliance. Actually, America 12U, I have plenty of pictures where Trump and Klaus Schwab and video. I don't put it up because I'm not really out here to try and divide America and the world right now. I'd rather bring us together. But, I have to tell the truth as well. Trump and Schwab are in this together. I mean, he's not a protector of this country. Operation Warp Speed, take the guns. There's been plenty. I'm a hardliner. I don't, somebody tells me they're going to take my freedom, they will never see a vote for me or any support. There's a lot of information I don't share just because I don't want to divide our community more than it already is. But when presented, when someone comes to me and they say certain statements, I do have to say what I know. I don't know of one politician who isn't affiliated with the World Economic Forum. All right, let's get on with this.
It's a totalitarian state being developed right now all over the world. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control of all land, all water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world. And this is a plan that was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992.
So does everyone remember, don't go gently into that good night? This whole thing was planned. Even all the photos and video that were coming out of Wuhan right in the beginning, that was all part of the Beijing Special Olympics training videos. And the reason I found that out was when I was watching them back then, I was like, why is police written in English on their uniforms? So I did a little digging. Those videos were not current. Those were training videos from the Olympics. Did I say Special Olympics? I don't know what I said. The World Economic Forum, yes, America 12U. I do have the video where Donald Trump and Klaus Schwab are sitting there, and it's like 45 minutes long. Them two, they're just sitting there and they're ushering in the new world order together. I mean, we know Trump is Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and all these guys are. The truth is out there. It's everywhere if you want to look. I do have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Down the Rabbit Hole, where I do include most of the material that I review or that I study. I really wish I could throw support at somebody. The plan, it's going according to plan, okay? I mean, this thing has been in the works for decades, couple hundred years. As most of my flat earth friends on this channel know, I see a lot of them, they go back and they bring out hidden history, forgotten books, lost books, purposely hidden books with a lot of information. And there is a union. These people will pretend to be our friends. And, excuse me, why we're talking about trust, okay? We got former president running around shelling for big pharma, saying how great this thing is, and you better make sure you get boosted, right? Well, if you watch the beginning part of this video, that thing is full of nanotechnology. It is rewriting. I'm not going to get into all the science of it. There are plenty of great videos. I'll bring them forward. But go back and watch. Those shots had technology put in them into the body. So people who are running around, I don't care if it's my neighbor or a president, they're running around saying, this thing's great for you. You got to take it. Those people are either ignorant or they don't like you very much. So no, take the guns and I can't give support to anyone. So I haven't watched news in 4 years when all this stuff broke out. It's just the news. I did have the news on back then, and it was just getting in my head. And I just finally shut off the news. I even shut off my news break alerts on my cell phone. I'm talking to some people on the phone. You can hear they got the news in the background. I'm like, can you please turn that off while we're talking, or give me a call back later? I have trusted YouTubers, people I've watched for years, people I respect. I like YouTubers, and that's where I get a lot of my information. That are just plain old fashioned books. Yeah, I didn't do it either. I haven't been to the good old doc in 5 years now, 4 years. And I tell you, I need it. I would love some trusted healthcare. I definitely can use it, but I take care of myself at home. I find all the herbal remedies that I can, and that's what I try to do. All right, let's see what's happening here.
It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that, sustainable development, it just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and
it is
creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no, it really is not.
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet. Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapon system.
Tonight's top story.
I did want to do some radar returns and some weather today. I spent all morning editing this video. I don't even know what's going on in the world right now as of this morning. I hear there's huge heat domes building over a large section of America. This is going to be interesting. All the fires that are going to start, I imagine there's going to be some high winds, a lot more lasers in the night sky and on the radar returns. And I'll keep up with that. I'll start watching those, and we'll do some lives with radar returns and weather outlooks.
Is America.
And what do you think Americans can take away from what's happening in the Netherlands?
Well, from a Dutch perspective, I would say that Americans should be very happy that they have a Second Amendment, and that you should protect that with all your strength.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
Ava Vlaardingerbroek broke. She's pretty good. I can't believe she's speaking on America's Second Amendment rights over there in Europe. But she's been in the news a lot the last few years during this whole scamdemic. I like to use that clip when I can. So I think that's pretty much the end of the presentation, except for, my geoengineering clips that I've made, or weather weather warfare clips, I should say. Um, yeah, the skies are not natural. Um, and while we're talking about that, I see a lot of comments about the white sun. Okay, I've tried to get this across many times, and then I also see people go, "It's square now." You're looking at the sun or taking photos with a cell phone, and you're never going to get a good image that way. But let me give you my 2 cents about the white sun, okay? There have been more than 2,000 nuclear explosions in the exosphere of Earth that had to alter our atmosphere. I mean, we're not going to see things the same. After 2,000 nuclear explosions? I don't think so. And then on top of that, they spray these solar geoengineering stratospheric aerosols almost every single day. And if it's not happening here, the 1 or 2 days a week, um, it's happening somewhere else. If you guys are on my Facebook page, I'm sure you've seen a lot of chemtrails coast to coast and around the world where everyone will share their photos that day in one thread, and it can get pretty large sometimes. And there's just no question what's happening. It is solar geoengineering, solar radiation management, and even bigger, the bigger picture, in my opinion, is people management and how long our lifespans are. That's just my thought on the matter. So I do a lot to detox every day, other than drinking a lot of spring water, not store bought. I'm fortunate enough I can get my water straight from a spring. I do treat it with iodine. I do oregano oil. Um, I got quite a few remedies. Maybe one day I'll break out the vitamin shelf and we'll talk about that stuff if it's even allowed on YouTube. I don't even know anymore. Um, Cindy Holland. I have a Nikon P900. The sun does not look like they show us. There are no flames on the sun. It's CGI. Also, trying to film the sun or any light source with the cell phone does create issues, yes. So, as far as CGI goes, yes, I will say there is a lot of CGI done by NASA. It's all CGI by NASA, right? Never a straight answer and never a truthful answer either. I don't trust that. I mean, geez, Walt Disney, Warner von Braun working together in the 40s and the 50s to bring us space, to bring us weather warfare. They corrupted the minds and the health of all of us. But I'll do a piece on that too. There's quite a bit of information on both those characters. As far as the flames on the sun go, I don't know. I have a Nikon D500, and I got this big lens here. Uh, I don't have a solar filter for this particular lens. I do need to get one with a 2x teleconverter, and I'll do some good videos then on the sun. But I have photographed and recorded the sun quite a few times with my smaller lenses. And you can see the sunspots, those are real. That is happening. The sun itself is real. As far as flames, I'm not there to touch it. I do understand the principles of radiation and energy coming through our atmosphere, creating heat. Um, but as far as all the science goes, I did get deep into it a couple times throughout the last 10 years, and I just can't trust it knowing the things I do know. So I'm not going to promote it, and I'm not going to argue for or against it. I'm just going to keep doing what I do until I get new information, and that's where I'll go with that. Stack Stevenson. Hello from Northwest Ohio. Hello, Stack. Hope you're doing good today. Cindy says, yes, sunspots are real. Yes. You guys got any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about? And otherwise, I'm just going to play us out. I just wanted to get in so you guys could see some of that information I came across this week. It's in the first half of this video. So, no? Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. Stay aware, be prepared, and until next time, keep looking up. Thank you, America 12U.
He who controls the weather will control the world.
There's a war going on for your mind.
Is there any possible way this could come back to bite us in the ass? Blanketing the earth in sulfuric acid, because I'm all for it. This is the all chocolate dinner. I still get to have my CO2, and I just need to spray sulfuric acid all over the earth.
Right question, but we put 50 million tons of sulfuric acid in the air now as pollution, and it kills 1 million people a year worldwide.
Okay, and that's
so
good or bad?
It's terrible.
But it'll be better if we put more.
The whole world gone crazy!